Well, that was interesting. Just disconnected. Well, we are back though. So there's that. Um, so yeah. Um, I was saying closed system, I don't know. It is uses up energy and dies. Displacement. I don't know displacement either. Displacement. Directing an impulse, wish, or feeling toward a person or situation that is not its real object, thus permitting expression in a less threatening situation. Example, a man angry at his boss kicks his dog. Displacement. Directing an impulse, wish, or feeling towards a person or situation that is not its real object, thus permitting expression in a less threatening situation. Timeout. I think of timeout like a punishment that we do to kids. It is a removal of something desirable. It is a negative punishment technique. In vivo desensitization. I don't know this one. Pairing and movement through a hierarchy of anxiety from least to most anxiety provoking situations taking place in real settings. Pairing and movement through a hierarchy of anxiety from least to most anxiety provoking situations takes place in real settings. In vivo desensitization. Decompensation. Decompensation. I don't know this one either. Deterioration of existing defenses. Splitting is something that has to do with borderline personality disorder. It is a defense mechanism where the person with borderline personality disorder believes that something is all good or all bad. They can't tell the difference between, they can't tell the difference between something that isn't all good or all bad. A defense mechanism associated with borderline personality disorder in which a person perceives self and others as all good or all bad serves to protect the good object. A person cannot integrate the good and bad in people. And delusion. I don't know how to describe delusion. A false fixed belief despite evidence to the contrary, believing something that is not true. So that is all of the cards for today. Hey, be nice to each other. My cats are being mean, hissing at each other. We are gonna move on to, just since we've got a little bit of time, not a lot of time, and we're gonna skip the rest of that since we're behind, since we started late. We're just gonna have a break. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, that it is helping you learn some stuff that social workers need to know, and that it also is enlightening you into some things that you might want to know, though that latter might not, be accurate. I really enjoy these relaxing days with you guys. They really help encourage me to study and to focus on getting my licensure. They encourage me to not give up, so I really do appreciate you guys supporting me and being here for me. I know it's not the easiest thing to do. There are much better things to do on a Monday or a Sunday. And they tend to be my most consistent streams right now, since I've had so much other life stuff going on. They're getting in the way of my other gaming streams. are going to start with a focus session now. It will be quiet for everybody. Like we normally do. I hope this will give you guys time to focus on whatever you guys are wanting to do. This will last for 25 minutes. Then we will have a 5-minute short break. And then we will do a 25-minute review of what I have read. In my studies, and hopefully this will be nice for you guys. So stick around, just enjoy the vibes. short focus is over. Thank you for joining me for that. We're just gonna have a short break now. Thank you for the follow. Who's your needy kitty? Okay, so review time. Nice to have you all here. I started reading about assessments, which is 29% of my exam. I am reading about the biopsychosocial history and collateral data. And so the biopsychosocial assessment. The biological section assesses a client's medical history, developmental history, different medical medications, substance abuse history, and family history of medical illnesses. The psychological section assesses the client's present psychiatric illnesses, symptoms, history of current psychiatric illnesses or symptoms, past current psychosocial stressors, and mental statuses. And the social section focuses on client systems and unique client context that may identify strengths or resources available for treatment planning. It also identifies sexual identity issues or concerns, personal history, family origin history, support systems, abuse history, education, legal history, marriage or relationship status, any other concerns, work history, and risk. Basically anything that has to do with the environment. Assessment should also include a client's spiritual beliefs as well as cultural traditions, which would be included in the social section. And so, as a social worker, it is important that we include those in the assessments. We do mental status examinations as well. It is a necessary part of the client assessment, no matter what the presenting problem is. So we are required to do that. All that entails is that we record the client's appearance, which is just like their facial expression, their grooming, their dress, their gait, their orientations, though, like the time, the place, the events, their speech pattern, the affect of their speech, and their mood, whether they're impulsive or not impulsive, and if they have the potential to do harm to themselves or others, their judgment and insight, whether they're sensible or insensible, their thought processes, so whether they're able to be present in reality or not. And their intellectual functioning and memory. So their level of intelligence and their remote memory function. It's not like we are a psychiatrist taking a mental examination of somebody to diagnose them with something. Though, we do have to be aware of client diagnoses and be aware of how they interact with the client and get differential diagnoses. So we have to be aware of how major body systems and medical conditions affects sociological functioning and mood, and how relationships between physical well-being affect mental status. And we always have to rule out how physical stuff first before applying mental stuff. Differential diagnosis is a systematic diagnostic method used to identify the presence of an entity where multiple alternatives are possible. So, when I talked to my professors about differential diagnoses, they said when getting differential diagnoses, it's like going to a different provider and getting a different opinion, oftentimes. Of course, with client permission, or it's when you look at a differential diagnosis that the client has been given prior, and you look at the diagnosis that you're giving. As a social worker, assessment and diagnosis must be a continual part of the problem-solving process. But also, assessment processes must focus on client strengths and resources for addressing problems. We can't focus on just the problems. We have to focus on things that are positive for the client. Social workers must be aware of laws governing the release of information and be informed of consent and get the informed consent of clients prior to requesting documents. We must make clients aware of the reasons for such requests and benefits and the risks of social workers obtaining this information. Client records can be subject to subpoenas and court orders, and the inclusion of this information in the records can make some additional risks associated with legal duty to release them to the court when court ordered to do so. So we have to make clients aware that their stuff could be released to courts when ordered to do so, and they must be okay with that or be aware that that can happen and choose not to work with us if they so choose. Unless they're court ordered to do so, because in some cases, clients are actually court ordered to work with social workers. So, and some of this we talked about before in other areas. This section went over the different bodily systems that we went over in the flashcards today, like the circulatory system, the digestive system, the endocrine system, the immune system, so on and so forth. So I won't go over those again. And then it went over terms such as comorbid, contraindicated, delusion, disorientation, dissociation, so on and so forth, that I have to be aware of. So I won't go over those again either, but it was good review to just kind of repetition really helps me. So that was good. So, yeah. And I read through a full chapter, so we went through chapter 4 of assessments, so that's good. Good progress for today. That chapter was rather short. It wasn't too long, so we have plenty of time to just chill. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'm always open to any questions or to review stuff further. But you guys never really have questions, so always so quiet here. Yeah, it's just like vibing. And being supportive, which I appreciate, so. Today's been a pretty good day of study. I'm a little bit sad that I didn't focus for as long as I wanted. Like, as long as like, I'm trying to get to 4 hours, you guys. So it's hard. And stream is like 3 hours, but then we do sometimes we end early and stuff, and so it's like it's not really 3 hours, you know what I mean? What is it, Evers? Yeah. My cat wants attention. This is for the kitty. Yeah. Bye. She's so quiet. I really need to eat lunch. late lunch for me today, guys. Well, we're gonna call the stream a bit early since we're done a bit early. I hope you guys don't mind. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate you all, but I need to eat. Have a good day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow to play Hades. At least that's the plan, unless something happens. Check on Discord for updates. My Discord link is in my bio on Twitch. Just so you guys know, I don't think I have it on my other platforms yet. I really need to add it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, so. Oh, thank you, Ribby. And Ribby posted it in chat, so feel free to join that way as well. But I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you, Ribby.